today my question is about discipline. And I'm going to ask you today, Mario E, when it comes to discipline, how should we discipline? And when does disciplining our kids go too far?
How should we discipline? When does discipline go too far?
It's tough,
wow.
man.
Yeah. So I'll say this, right? You definitely need to discipline your kids, right? And discipline takes many forms nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Some people believe in spankings, or depending on what part of the country you live in, whoopings. Some people don't. Some people feel like, hey, you better not lay a hand on your kids. Some people feel like, the government has gotten too, involved in the child rearing and all this stuff. There's a lot of different avenues with discipline, right? But you have to correct your kids. You had better correct your kids, okay? And if you don't, it's going to be a problem. Yep. You'll feel it later on, and you'll also they'll feel it later on when they get older, when they won't respect, authority or what have you, right? So for me, I grew up. I got whoopings. Okay, that's what I got. I'm just talking about me. I got whoopings, right? Not that I got a lot. I think my sister probably got more than I did because I was a good kid. But for me, I definitely got whoopings, right?
Yeah.
And I've never had to whoop our daughter. No, never had to, right? My son, I will say that there were times earlier on when he was younger, he got spankings or whatever and stuff. But what I saw, first of all, you're not trying to hurt anybody, right?
Yeah.
And you're not trying to do it out of anger, but you're trying to, teach them something. And like for me, I stopped giving him spankings or whoopings, whatever you want to call it, early, because I noticed that there were other ways to discipline him that would resonate more, right?
Yeah.
For us, taking something away from him was more of the trick with him than giving him a spanking. But
yeah,
at this point, I'm just talking about spankings versus other types of discipline. But yeah, you have to discipline your kids. And so for us, disciplining him always and it still takes the form of, no internet or taking the phone or something to that nature, not actually putting your hands on somebody.
Yeah.
Putting our hands on him. I mean, I know a lot of people still do that, and that's fine. For me, in our house, it didn't do the trick. Giving him a spanking didn't do the trick for us. It didn't change the behavior that we were trying to change, if that makes sense. So that's what we did. And definitely you have to, because it's all about correction, and you have to correct. I correct him because I love him and I want to see him do better. And I know that he can, and it's all about giving him the proper tools that he needs to understand, like, hey, this is right, this is wrong. I shouldn't do this. It's okay if I do that.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying too. And I was a kid that didn't get a lot of spankings either. My parents just say I didn't give them a whole lot of problems or whatever, but that's not to say I never did anything wrong. Now, when I got out of line or whatever, I'm telling you right now, the times that stuck out the most for me during getting disciplined by my father was the sit-down talks. and him talking about how disappointed he was in me, that really hurt me a lot. That kind of got me down, really just talking to me, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's a place for everything. It's a time and place for everything in discipline. I feel like we have to be well-rounded in the disciplining of our children. Maybe a spanking here, and I when I say spanking, I'm talking about a spanking to help get them back in line, but not what some people call a beating. I'm not for that. I feel like that with the spankings and the beatings, it can go too far, and I feel like it can have negative effects on you and your child's relationship as they get older. Now, I'm not saying don't spank your kids. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you need to be aware, if you are going to spank your kids, you need to be aware of the damage that you may be causing. And also, like you said before, making sure that you're not angry.
Yeah.
If you decide to spank your child, make sure that you're not angry when you do that. I've had a lot of success, and now my son's younger. My son is 3 years old. He'll be 4 years old next month. I've had a lot of success with sitting there and letting him cry. They want to do something, right? And you say no. And that's when the tantrum or the fit takes place.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say, look, buddy, I said what I said, and that's it. I'm not going to change my mind. You can sit here and cry all day, but I'm not going to do what you want me to do. So go ahead and get over it. I've had a lot of success with that.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of success with the cool downs. Taking him up to his room and saying, hey, you need to get yourself together, calm down. And when you're ready to come out, you can come out.
Yeah.
Dude comes out a new man. Like I'm saying, he can be like fuming, man. Like he can be so upset. And then when I take him up there and I sit him in his room and he has his fit, and then when he comes out, he'll come out and say, hey, Dad, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So
like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of experience and success with, getting him to just cool down and get himself together.
Yeah.
Lately, I've had some success with just sitting there and talking with him. Just sitting there, just talking with him like, look, man, you getting out of control. You need to get yourself together. Yeah. And it's like, he'll look at me and he'll stop crying. So do you have to spank them all the time? No, but I do feel like it's times that your kids get out of line and they going like that line we said, the line of awareness.
Yeah.
And they get to that point, and sometimes some kids, it takes you to give them a little bit of old school, like what I like to call it.
Yeah.
That helps them to start thinking logically.
Yeah.
So I've seen that work before.
Yeah. So it sounds like to me like you're saying the same thing I am in a way, but it's about knowing your kids, right?
Yeah.
You have to know what affects them in certain ways.
Yeah.
Like for you, what worked for you a lot of times was your dad just talking to you and telling you he was disappointed. And that was enough to get you to straighten out. With you and your son, you're able to, in certain situations, to be able to say, hey, knock it off. And that works, So you got to have a diverse repertoire of discipline.
Yeah. But like we've been talking about respect today, but if you don't get that initial respect from your kids, they can be the boss in the home. Don't be a fool. There are some households where the kids are running the household.
Yeah.
Because the parents will not discipline them in any way.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're trying to talk to your child and it's not working, maybe you need to try something else.
Yeah.
And
What would
I'm
you
not
say?
saying not try old school. Old school may be the key to your problem.
Yeah. What would you say to a dad who felt like that his kids were, or his child was running the house? What would you say to him? What type of advice would you give to that dad?
Dad, you need to get control of your house by any means necessary. You know I'm not lying, Mario. You know I'm not lying. It's a problem if you don't have control over your child, man.
I'm just laughing. You said any means necessary. That's just funny.
I'm serious though. By any means necessary, like you really need to. Everything that we're talking about right now, you need to try everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, you that's why I said spankings versus beatings, because you don't want to be abusive. And like,
wow, that's crazy.
You don't want to do stuff when you're angry and
someone locked up.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like, man, you got to be smart about your discipline. You need to be well-rounded with it. And then also, if you are decided that you want to go the spanking route or whatever, it's an age limit for that, man. Because after a certain age, it's not a spanking no more. It's a fight. And you know, if it hadn't worked to that point, then it's not gonna work now. You know. So I just say, dads, just be smart and, you know, discipline your kids, get the respect from your kids, but don't be abusive. There's no need for that.
No, I'm really interested to know what dads or other parents have to say about discipline. Yeah. I'm really, you know, please share in the comments. Let's get some dialogue going on this, because I'd really like to know what you guys think about that. And then also, I mean, if you got some tips, if you were that dad that, you know, maybe your kids were running the house and you had to put your foot down finally, and I'd like to know how that went, to be able to help other dads or parents for that matter.
Discipline is important, because if we don't discipline our kids,
you have to correct.
And they get in public settings and they're not listening. If they don't listen to you, then are they going to listen to their teachers? Are they going to listen to the police officers?
Yeah.
It can be a big problem.
Yeah, it can.
So, like I said, with everything that we talk about, it starts at home. And you need to make sure that you discipline your kids in the right ways and being well-rounded.